So next we will talk a little bit about in the yoga world, how you could be present in making money online and also understanding the bridge between making money and providing a peaceful environment through the use of some of these new technology advancements. So we'll speak about what I know about this. At the end of the year, we have these big deals from Black Friday to Christmas sales to New Year sales, and you're going to see them. Yoga, in a lot of ways, can be categorized as a style of gym, which we saw during the pandemic. That was something that was really going on big time, where we are clumped in as gyms. When my studio got closed, one of the biggest reasons why we were closed is because they said we were a gym, which we fought against. We ran out of a medical office. The medical office was still allowed to be open, but at the end of the day, because they were two separate buildings, the yoga studio was closed. After some experimentation with the city, they tried to let us be open. Eventually, they said, you're too much like a gym. We have to close you down. So there's bad in that, but there's also good in it, because you can follow the recipes that a lot of gym owners have utilized. And you're going to see during Black Friday, they're going to promote a lot of specials and deals. During Christmas sales, you're going to see a lot of promotions and deals, and the same with New Year's. And that's what I do regularly. Since we, in the yoga world, we haven't had too much online until the pandemic. This is something that's been new and something that's been going on as we continue to work through this situation. It's a tricky one, but ideally, if you can idolize and form a plan based off of I can't say the word, of a blueprint, then you should be in very smart, should be in a good place, because a blueprint can really help you out to save you some time and energy from making mistakes. So, for example, when I do my yoga stuff, there's not a whole lot of people online that necessarily look like me, but there are some people that own gyms that do a lot of online stuff that look like me. So I can utilize some of their information, their blueprint on a process, and implement that. That can help me out. So am I going to be able to do yoga business exactly like a 19-year-old blonde who used to be a ballet dancer and has all the flexibility in the world? No, that's probably not going to work exactly for me. Because she's in my niche, I can do some things similar, but I'm a pain specialist with yoga, restorative yoga instructors, where I like to hang my hat on. I'm not going to find a lot of that in someone that's doing power yoga, that may be, a former dancer with a lot of flexibility and doing a little bit more vigor in their practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the people in my niche, in my yoga world, who are kind of doing what I'm doing. If there's no one exactly like that I'm finding in the space that's coming up, and sometimes they're out there, but they're not popular. They're not very well known. So you might find mentors that are like you. They're just not doing what you're doing online. Then you got to take pieces of that and kind of blend it together. For example, there's a guy that I follow online, and he does a great job of what he does, but he's a smaller market. So how do I make it a bigger market? Well, I take the things that I see from what he's doing, which is great, and then I blend that with some of the things that someone from a bigger market's doing that's close to what I do, but they have a bigger market. But then maybe they're not in yoga, but maybe now they're in foundational training. Maybe they are in physical therapy. Maybe they're in personal training. Now you have a little bit of a blending of two different recipes. So you have your vision board on one end, and that's going to be the yoga recipe. And you have a gentleman who's helping you that's quite like you, but doesn't have the audience. Now on the other end, you have another recipe, vision circle in your vision board, and you have a gentleman who has a far larger audience and is doing things similar to you, working on people in pain, working on slow movements, working on restoring the body, but it's not yoga, it's personal training. So you can take elements from that. And again, it's not going to be exactly helpful, but you can kind of bridge the two. And in the research, we call that triangulation, where we have two data point collections. And you're going to try to get your information based off of that ability to take those two worlds and collide them. And that can help you form a blueprint. Again, I don't necessarily personally always suggest forming a blueprint when it comes to making money, because it's always better for you to already have an established route. But if you have two established blueprints that are similar but different and not quite what you are, then maybe you can be the trailblazer that comes through with the third one. And as long as they're not too far off, it won't be too rocky. Because there's another thing in business that I've come to learn again and again from the people that are teaching me, is that if you come in late, that's a problem. You want to come in around before the 33% mark is around a sweet spot where you want to come into something. If you're coming into crypto and you're coming in after the 33% spot, you're probably coming in a little late to the game. We're not quite there. We won't be there for a while. If they're saying crypto is going to get to a point where you're going to have sixth graders selling candy bars, accepting crypto as payment. If it gets to that point, then you're pretty late to the party if you're trying to invest in crypto, which doesn't mean you won't be successful. It just means you're going to be late. Ideally, there's something to be said for being first and being early. Being first is a pain because, again, you have to make that blueprint. So keep that in mind when it comes to making money online. You also want to keep in mind what sells when it comes to your world. So for example, I have yoga teacher trainings, which you can get online, right, by clicking in the links. But yoga teacher trainings aren't necessarily going to be something that sells. It is considered a beautiful experience if you want to become a yoga instructor or further your practice. But the majority of people just want to participate in yoga separate from yoga teacher training, just to participate, to further their ability to do the practice, and also for health benefits or peace of mind, mental, which is also health. It can be any sort of array of physiological, anxiety, physical, mental, emotional well-being. So you want to keep that door open and understand the target audience and the larger audience is probably going to want one thing versus another thing that I can offer. So I would try to offer both. That said, you want to focus on what the audience is asking for the most. That's pretty much the number one thing I've learned from business. Is there's a saying after an election, the people have spoken. You need to understand when the people have spoken. If you have a product that's not selling, it's probably not your flagship product. You want to go with your best seller, and you want to double down and put more energy and efficiency into what's working, what the audience is responding to, and see how you can continue to get that out. If you do see something that's a diamond in the rough and you think it's got a chance, you can go ahead and take a bet on that, but you got to listen to the audience. You can't just go on blind faith. You can, but if you want to be successful with saving money and time in the process of this journey of making money online, you're really going to want to go behind your bestseller and push it versus try to force something on the people that they might not be asking for. We see this a lot too in movies. They had recently made a Batgirl movie that I believe is shelved permanently, may never get released. And a lot of the problem I'm hearing is the people never asked for it. That's what I'm hearing is coming down to. So keep in mind some of these features and traits when it comes to doing your making money online journey when it comes to yoga, and understanding that this is something that is new when it comes to online. Yoga and online have not gone together before the pandemic. So this is something that you're going to want to keep an eye on, and you will learn more about this in the coming years, I guess. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you. Please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and we will be back with more information. Please be well.